Good morning and welcome. My name is Reverend Dr. Ron Fox, and I'd like to welcome you all to our Sunday morning service for the Center for Spiritual Living, Space Coast. If you've never been to a Center for Spiritual Living before, we believe there's one God, many paths to that God, and we're here to love, honor, and support you, no matter what your divine path is. The Center for Spiritual Living, Space Coast is a safe haven for people of all beliefs and lifestyles. Whoever you are and wherever you find yourself on your journey of faith, you're welcome here. And to begin our service this morning, two of our practitioners, Edgar and Patrice Rivera, are going to open us up with a prayer and a spiritual reading.
As we just sink back and settle in, setting aside just a moment in this day that we have set aside to remember love. And for in this place, I am so grateful for these few minutes of like-minded souls, of like-minded beings to step into this place where we remember to remember the truth of who I really am. I remember that there is only one infinite being, one God, one love, one song, many singers, one painting, many brushstrokes. There is only one. And in exploring that nature of what it is to mean that there is only one, I know that if there is only one, I absolutely live, move, and have my being in that place. And if I live, move, and have my being in that place, then I know that same truth is true for everyone, whether they look like me, whether they think like me, whether they believe like me, whether they acknowledge the truth like me. No matter what, there is only one. And as I remember that that is absolutely the truth, then I am ever, ever so grateful. I am so grateful for this gathering. I am so grateful for every heart that is on this call. I am so grateful for every heart that I'm connected to everywhere. And I am so grateful for all the hearts that I don't feel connected to, for I know that they are part of the one, same as me. And so standing in this place of remembering my truth, standing in the place of absolute gratitude for all that is, I am very, very grateful for the words of wisdom from Reverend Dr. Ron Fox. I am very grateful for his dedication and his love for all of us, for divulging the truth, for standing in the place of remembering to say oneness 52 different ways a year. He is magnificent at it. And I am ever so grateful for that. I am so grateful for everyone who does anything to make this church grow, to keep us vibrant and alive, whether it's showing up on a Sunday or sending a prayer if you can't show up on a Sunday. There's that connection, and that is what makes the world go around. And so standing in this place of love, giving gratitude for all of the things there are to love in the world, I absolutely know that this is not only my truth, but it's the truth of everyone. And so standing in that place, that love is the true truth, I let go, and I know that it really is so. And so it is.
So it is.
This morning's reading is from the New Testament, the King James Version, 1 Corinthians 13. Though I speak with tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal resounding in the wind. And though I have the gift of prophecy and can understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and have faith that can move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. And though I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames, but have not love, I am nothing. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself, is not puffed up, does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, is not provoked, thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things.
Thank you both. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And given that it's Valentine's Day, I want to speak about love today. In fact, I titled the message, All You Need is Love. And I want to begin with a quote from Ernest Holmes, who founded the Centers for Spiritual Living. He wrote, "Love is the greatest healing and drawing power on earth, the very reason for our being." And so this week, I was looking back on some old Science of Mind magazines that Becky and I have. We have them going back like 25 years. And Wilford Peterson used to write a column, the late Wilford Peterson, for Science of Mind magazine in the 90s. And in this particular column, he said that he saw a magazine, and the magazine cover, and he didn't specify if it was a photo or a painting, but I tend to think it was a painting, had a picture of a ground floor office that had been destroyed, totally destroyed. The window is broken. There was glass all over. There were papers all over. It was a total mess. And he said, in the center of this magazine cover, in this total mess, there was a large poster that read, "Love never gives up." And he said, he wrote, love may be battered, love may be bruised, but love never gives up. If it gives up, he wrote, it's not love. And then he said, love never gives up, and never is forever. A thousand defeats can never destroy it. It always rises again. So I read a lot about love. I was thinking as I was preparing this was a really cool time for me to prepare, because I spent the whole day only reading about love, which was really neat. And I read an article by Lexa Finley and Tara Mello, and they began the article asking a question. They said, how great would it be for you if everyone you came into contact with loved you? Imagine that, if everybody you came into contact with loved you. And then they answered their question. They said, it would be pretty great. And wouldn't other people feel the same way if they knew that you loved them? And they said, some events make it difficult to love unconditionally. People frustrate us, events frustrate us, but that doesn't mean that we have to limit our capacity to love. Unconditional love starts by living in peace and in harmony. And no matter what the challenge is, whether it's a challenging person or a challenging event, whatever it is that's surrounding us, we can find peace and harmony by simply shifting our thoughts. Ernest Holmes, another quote from Ernest Holmes said, happiness comes from quiet contentment, an inner sense of certainty which can't be shaken. Gerald Jampolsky was an MD. He just passed away a couple of weeks ago, actually, was a doctor. And eventually he gave up his medical practice to teach about love and forgiveness. And one of the books he wrote was titled Teach Only Love. And he has a quote in there from A Course in Miracles that reads, teach only love, for that is what you are. And he said, you know, what that means is our essence is love. And no matter what kind of problems we face, whether they're great or whether they're small, we can give only love. And he talked about, I really love this. He talked about becoming a love finder. He said, be a love finder rather than a fault finder. And he said, no matter what someone else's behavior may be, we can choose to only see the light of love in that person. And he wrote how he and his wife, Diane, used to like to walk on the beach. And I guess when they started this, it was before they got into the Course in Miracles and their teachings, because he said when they would walk, they would judge people. They would judge by what people looked like, or if they looked happy or sad or angry or content. And he said, now we don't do that anymore. We just walk and we smile at people. And he said, you know, some smile back and some don't smile back. But they both know, he and Diane know, it's not the other people's response that matters. They know that they will experience peace and joy on those walks if they greet everyone they see with love. And he said rather, that when he and Diane counsel couples together, that before they begin speaking about their problems, they ask the couples to each say something positive about the other person. And he said, a lot of couples don't want to do that. They want to get right into the conflict. And he said, but we persist. And he said, what's so interesting is what we so often hear when they begin to do that. We'll hear, I've never heard you say that before. Or, I didn't know that's what you thought. He said, the only thing that's changed in them is their attitude. They've gone from fault finding to love finding. Mary Morrissey writes that each of us, all of us, have a divine assignment. And that assignment is to live in and to express love. And she brought out, I thought when I read this, I thought, you know, this is such a truth, and I've never quite thought of it that way. Nobody has the exact mix of people in their life that you do. You know, we all have overlaps, but nobody knows exactly the same people in their life that you do or that I do. And no one but us will have the unique opportunity to bless those people that are in our life. And she said, you know, some of them are going to drive, well, this is my term, she didn't use it. Some of us are going to drive you nuts. And some of them are going to raise your blood pressure. Yet, we still have the ability to increase the presence of love in their life. And we never know what love will lead them to do. Just like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life, you never know what your love can lead to. So it got me to thinking, I've told this story before, but not for a while, and it's a true story. When Becky and I lived in Southern California, our minister was a wonderful person named Joy Yon, and she lives in Oklahoma now, but Joy and I still keep in touch. And a couple of years ago, I don't even remember what the instance was, to be honest. Something went on in my life that I realized Joy had taught me when she was our minister and we were studying to be practitioners. So I called her up. I still speak to her a few times a year. I called her up to thank her. And I started to thank her. I did thank her. And there was this pause on the other end. And she said, Ron, you know I love you, don't you? And I said, yeah. And she said, so I don't want you to be upset, but I have no idea about what the hell you're talking about. That was exactly what she said to me. And she said, but that's a good thing. She said, because as we go through life, you know, just like George, she didn't say just like George Bailey, but I'm saying it, we never know all the people whose lives we touch with our kindness and our love. And she said, so I don't remember that instance, but thank you for telling me I love you. And thank you for letting me know that I touched your life in that way. And I want you to know, and I'm saying now, I want all of you to know that as we go through our lives, when we reach out in kindness, when we reach out in love, we're going to touch lives, and people are going to be touched in a way that we might never know, but we're doing it. It's happening as long as we do that. And Mary suggested a practice that we could do. If we have a relationship that we're looking to improve, she said, you know, the next time you speak to that person, or the next time you see that person, she said, pause and ask yourself, what would love do here? And then listen. And she said, something will come to you. Maybe a more compassionate feeling. And she said, if it does, act on it. And she also went on to say, this exercise isn't about them. This exercise is about knowing your own identity. You're a child of God. You're the essence of love. Catherine Hendricks and Gay Hendricks are a couple that work together and do counseling together, and they've written several books together, one of which is called The Conscious Mind. And in there, they talk about the concept plum blossom courage. Plum blossom courage. And they said it's a Zen concept that the plum blossom appears soft and glowing, even in the deepest part of winter when the winds are blowing. And what it is, it symbolizes the resilience of the human spirit. It's about the ability to love again and to go forward. And they write that in close relationships, we develop plum blossom courage through coming back time and again to skills like telling the truth, like taking responsibility, like holding ourselves and our significant others in loving acceptance. And they make the point that they mean all relationships, every one of our relationships, not just romantic relationships. And there's no better place to practice this than right where we are right now, every moment of every day. So I read a couple of articles this week that talk to finding love on finding deeper love on Valentine's Day. And I really want to cover this because the point of these articles is, and I know it's true for many of you that are listening, I consider myself blessed that I have a great significant other relationships, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't have significant others right now, but there still are ways that we can celebrate Valentine's Day. And so I want to speak to you about three of them. And the first one is you can take the time to love your life, to spend this day enjoying the peacefulness of your own company. You can take a walk in nature. You can feel gratitude for all of the blessings that are in your life. You can feel gratitude for all of the challenges that you've overcome in your life. And you can take some time to bless yourself and to love yourself just as you are. A second thing that we can do is to love everyone. We can focus on the feeling of love in our heart. We can see each person you meet with fresh eyes and look into the eyes of everyone we meet and appreciate them with love, knowing that they're all children of God, just like we are. You know, we can look at the supermarket cashier with the eyes of our heart and make buying a container of milk an act of divine love. I really like that, to look at the cashier in Publix or wherever and make buying our groceries an act of love. Yesterday, Becky and I went into Publix, and we have a cashier there that we've really come to appreciate and love, and we didn't see her. So I asked the team leader, is she working today? And she said, yeah, she's on her break. So Becky and I bought her a box of chocolates, and we gave it to the team leader and said, give it to her. And we wrote out, it's from Ron and Becky. We didn't get to see her eyes when she got it, but the team leader said, she's gonna love this. I'm thanking you for her. You know, and the last thing, or a last thing we can do is we can examine our relationships, and we can see if we're excluding anybody. And this may, if you are, this may be a good time to reconnect and express care and concern. And maybe perhaps if you've had a falling out with somebody, let today be a reminder to go past mistakes and resentments. And you can use Valentine's Day to symbolize forgiveness and healing. So I had a plan how I was going to end today's message. And I went on Facebook this morning and saw what I'm about to read to you on a friend's Facebook page. And it really touched me and hit me hard, because I found out yesterday that somebody that Becky and I know from almost the first day we've moved to Florida died this week. And, you know, candor, our relationship was kind of frayed towards the end, but I know deep down we still cared for each other and loved each other. And so I just want to read this to you. It's pretty deep, but I think it has a wonderful message for all of us. Barely the day started, and it's already 6 p.m. Barely arrived on Monday, and it's already Friday. The month is already over, and the year is almost over. And already 40, 50, or 60 years of our life have passed. And we realize we lost our parents, friends, and we realize It's too late to go back. So let's try, despite everything, to enjoy the remaining time. Let's keep looking for activities that we like. Let's put some color in our gray. Let's smile at the little things in life and put balm in our hearts. And despite everything, we must continue to enjoy with serenity this time we have left. Let's try to eliminate the afters. I'm doing it after. I'll say after. I'll think about it after. We leave everything for later, like after is ours. Because what we don't understand is that afterward, the coffee gets cold. Afterward, priorities change. Afterward, the charm is broken. Afterwards, health passes. Afterwards, the kids grow up. Afterwards, parents get old. Afterward, promises are forgotten. Afterward, the day becomes night. Afterwards, life ended. And then it's often too late. So let's leave nothing for later, because still waiting to see you later, we can lose the best moments, the best experiences, best friends, the best family. Today, the day is today. The moment is now. God bless you. Happy Valentine's Day. Have a wonderful week.